Tonight, will you stay or will you go? That's the question many employers are debating as employees make the transition back to the office after working from home. Plus, $1 billion surplus will be the debated topic in an upcoming special session for Minnesota's divided legislature. But first, learning from tragedy. First responders are speaking out about techniques you should know should you find yourself in a dangerous situation.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. Tragedy struck the Twin Ports yesterday after a father drowned in the St. Louis River trying to save two kids. Now experts are sharing tips about how to safely help someone struggling in the water should you find yourself in that scary situation. They say the first thing you should do if you're on shore is call 911. If you have something within reach that has a line on it, you can try to throw it out to the person in the water. If that's not available, experts suggest using a boat. They say the last resort is to go in the water yourself, no matter your swimming experience.
If you need to go in the water to get someone because there's no other option, you should absolutely wear a life jacket or take something else that floats.
While the two children in yesterday's water emergency made it to shore safely, the man did not. Fire officials hailed him as a hero. Tonight, we're learning more about the teenager killed in the ambulance dump truck crash near Grand Rapids. According to a new GoFundMe page, Joseph, or Joey Latimer, was on his way to the hospital after he had a seizure. He and paramedic Troy Betcher were killed in Tuesday's crash. The GoFundMe organizers say Latimer was diagnosed with autism at a young age, and last year he went through extreme medical complications, which included a 40-day stay in a Twin Cities hospital. The author of the fundraiser says the 17-year-old was a pure and innocent soul who will be greatly missed. If you'd like to help donate to the family's GoFundMe account, we have that link posted at CBS3Duluth.com. We reached out to check the current condition of the two drivers who suffered life-threatening injuries. However, the hospitals were not able to share their current status. One person is dead after a single vehicle crash in Culver Township. According to the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office, it happened around 10:15 last night near the intersection of Bong Road on Highway 31. That's just west of Burnett. The report shows the 49-year-old man went off the road and struck several trees. He was found on the floor of his vehicle with a severe head injury and pronounced dead at the scene about an hour later. Authorities have not identified him yet. Officials believe the man was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. Alcohol was also a factor. Looking ahead, Duluth is once again holding free clinics teaching parents the safest way to transport their kids in the car. The educational series was on hold during the pandemic, but starting a week from today at Duluth Fire Station number 4, parents can learn how to properly install a car seat and ask any other questions about safety. The clinic provides assistance and education to parents and caregivers about car seat safety and the proper way to install their own car seats.
Encourage everybody that has questions to please use this service. We got some really talented, educated car seat technicians there, and they just love to share their knowledge, and we'd love to challenge them with some really good questions.
The clinics run every third Thursday of the month. You can find the full schedule on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. A wildfire in the Boundary Waters is now burning 21 acres. The Hassel Lake fire, which has been burning since Friday, was started by a lightning strike. It's about 10 miles northeast of Tower. As of this morning, the Forest Service says the fire is 50% contained. The fire has forced the closure of lakes, campsites, and portages in the BWCA area west of Crab Lake. Well, Dave is here for a first check of the weather. Dave, it sounds like you have your eye on some potential storms popping up.
Actually, we do have a warning to talk about in southern parts of Iron County and let's see Ashland County as well in Wisconsin. That'll be in effect until 6:15. We've got some strong thunderstorms bringing some high winds, lightning, of course, and the potential for some fairly big hail. So for the next 12 minutes, keep an eye on the sky and seek shelter if this comes across your part of the territory. And there's a 30% chance we'll get more of that coming across our territory tonight as the next in a long line of low pressure systems works through the region. 30% chance for thunder around the area tonight in case your town hasn't tasted it yet. Low temperature dropping into the 50s for a lot of places. Now tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. The third in this line of lows will bring a 70% chance for thunder region-wide, kick up some easterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, and those strong east winds will take lakeside temperatures down into the 60s, maybe some towns even into the 50s. Will anybody still be holding on to the 90s like today? Well, I'll show you the temperature forecast in all its details coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. As COVID restrictions begin to loosen, some employees are heading back to their offices after a year of working from home. But at some Duluth companies, work life after the pandemic will look a little different. CBS 3's Abigail Smith looks into how companies are changing their work expectations and what that means for employees.
One major Duluth employer I spoke with today said they're expecting a slow but sure transition for their employees returning on site. Amy Rutledge is a spokesperson for Minnesota Power, which is headquartered in downtown Duluth. More than half of their essential workforce reported to work sites, power plants, and other facilities every day during their pandemic to help keep the lights on. But other employees have been working from home for about a year now, including many from their downtown location. Rutledge says in September they are beginning a hybrid approach, with employees spending half of their time at home and the other half at the office. They've heard calls for more flexibility.
Our workplace has changed in so many ways that we can expect that people will need a little bit of time to adapt to change.
Meanwhile, Christy Stokes is the president of the Greater Downtown Council. They conducted a work-life study in April, which found 50% of workers in Duluth's downtown were still working from home. Based on the survey results, she expects about 68% of the downtown workforce will head back to the office over the summer. Employers expect that workers may need time to adjust back to normal, with some eager to get back into the office and others will appreciate the slower transition into the coming year.
All right, thanks, Abigail. Well, now to St. Paul, where Minnesota's governor wants state lawmakers to put aside their differences and pass a budget on the first day of the upcoming special session. Governor Walz issued that challenge today. He says the latest economic forecast shows Minnesota is looking at an additional $1.8 billion in surplus. Now, that's in addition to the $1.6 billion surplus Walz announced in February. While the governor reminded Minnesotans these are projections, he says there's no reason to believe they won't be accurate.
Gives us the opportunity, looking to the future, to make those investments that make a difference in Minnesota, making investments in our children, making investments in our infrastructure, making investments in the things that make Minnesota strong.
Minnesota lawmakers are set to consider the state budget during a special session that begins on Monday. Memorial Blood Centers needs blood donations now more than ever. They have announced a blood emergency as fewer people donate during the pandemic. About 30,000 Minnesota blood donors have not returned to donate recently. Memorial Blood Center leaders say the hospitals they provide blood to are suffering because of that decrease. There has been a surge in blood usage for surgeries and other care that was postponed during the pandemic, but supply isn't meeting demand. Carrie Lundeen, a community outreach representative, says whether you're a new or loyal donor, the time to donate is now.
We're all busy, things are opening up, we're getting on with our summer plans and everything else, but really donating blood takes about 30 minutes of time. Some people think that that needle's in your arm for a really long time, but the need for whole blood donation across every blood type is needed.
For the entire month of June, those who donate will be entered in daily drawings for Minnesota Twins tickets. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, we have a link on our website. The teen facing murder charges in Duluth's first homicide of the year appeared in court virtually today. 17-year-old Patrick Batiste Jr. is accused of shooting and killing a man in downtown Duluth last month during a fight. The court is evaluating his mental health before moving forward with the case. Today, the judge set a hearing to review those findings in 2 weeks. In the meantime, prosecutors requested Batiste continue to be held at the local juvenile detention center. The defense agreed. His case is still being conducted in juvenile court while a judge considers a petition to move it to adult court. Batiste turns 18 next week. About 250 people were arrested during a massive protest against Enbridge's Line 3 reconstruction project this week. Protesters trying to stop the final leg of the project took over a pump station near Park Rapids on Monday. They locked about 43 Enbridge workers behind the front gate. Those workers were eventually evacuated. Protesters also put up barricades and dug trenches. The protest is scheduled for tonight in Minneapolis. They plan to gather outside U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar's office. Take Action Minnesota says Klobuchar should pressure President Joe Biden to halt construction on Line 3. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, we have seen shortages in almost everything during the pandemic, but there's one Northland item in short supply that might surprise you.
Today's airport high, 89 degrees. The normal is 71. Tomorrow, well, here in the Twin Ports, we'll fall below that normal after a long warm spell here. Other towns on the fringes of our region just might stay up towards 90. We'll talk about who's who and how long that change sticks around coming up after our break.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health pediatrician Jonathan Knight talks about the importance of vision screening for children.
Vision screening is really important. A lot of disorders present early on. We can pick them up early on. And in fact, a lot of vision loss can be prevented. The risk of that can be reduced by as much as 50% by the age of 7. So if we identify it early, we can make some changes to prevent some blindness. So we actually start examining children's eyes right away when they're born. We have a tool that we use at every well check called an ophthalmoscope that we use to examine children's eyes to identify for any early problems that may arise. So it may not seem like a vision exam because they're not reading the eye chart, but we're actually looking at their eyes and trying to identify things that might cause some problems later on in life. One thing we look for a lot is cataracts, and if you don't identify those early in infancy, they can lead to permanent blindness.
Other things Dr. Knight looks for include if a child has difficulty focusing, if they don't respond when you look and smile at them, if one eye is brighter than the other, or if one eye wanders.
There are a lot of things that you can find out if you know what to look for. One of the things I want to say is that some kids, you wouldn't know they have a vision problem until later, but you can pick it up earlier if you use some sort of instrument-based screening as young as 1. Many kids can be put in glasses at a time you might not notice a lazy eye yet and could make a big difference in their overall vision into adulthood. Most kids don't really react negatively to that. They kind of get excited because they already notice that they're having some troubles.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
Celebrate summer with a certified vehicle from Cary Toyota in Superior. Head for the hills in this 2017 Highlander Limited or drive away in a certified 2018 RAV4 Hybrid. Prefer a larger SUV? Check out this certified 2021 4Runner TRD Off-Road or choose a certified 2018 Tundra Limited for all your outdoor adventures. Inventory is constantly changing, so hurry in to Cary Toyota in Superior to lock in your 2021 summer driving fun while supplies last. You can also ask about our rental vehicles. Cary Toyota in Superior, voted best car dealer 22 times.
Everything you need to get these guys is about to go into a warehouse at the Cayman Islands.
Hey.
Julia?
These men that you've brought down, they are exterminators.
You think the women they killed are bugs?
You are the bug that got away.
A new Clarice tonight, 10/9 Central, or stream anytime on CBS.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Fond du Luth Casino. Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
A lot of different weather things happening around our region today. Number one, many of our zones here from Aitkin County through the head of the lakes and into northwestern Wisconsin, even right onto the border of the UP, looking at a heat indices alert here till 7 o'clock tonight. Heat index up and around 100 degrees. Good night to have lots of water handy. Stay hydrated and stay out of the sun as much as you can. Let things cool down, which they will tomorrow. Now, at the same time, we've got a low pressure system working through the area, and at this moment, it's kicking up its biggest storms in southern parts of Ashland County and Iron County, where we're looking at a severe thunderstorm warning here for maybe only a couple more minutes, but once it goes, it's been dropping so much rain, you can see a little green poking out of the corner. That's a flood advisory, so people have to drive very cautiously in the southern parts of those two counties, and then into neighboring Vilas and Oneida counties you have to do so as well, because those folks have really received a lot of rain. Our neck of the woods could receive a lot of rain too. We need it. I don't know if we'll get it, though. I'll show you the latest chart on how much we could get tonight through Friday coming up in just a bit. Here's a quick look at the current conditions, which include this live shot of downtown Duluth where the fog has rolled in, so it's foggy by the lake and at least partly sunny farther inland. Airport temp is 74. Southeast winds going 13 miles per hour. Air pressure's at 29.82 inches of mercury. Now, current regional temperatures are across the board here. Wide range. 77 Ironwood, only 64 LaPointe, but 94 in Hayward. 62 Superior, 93 in Moose Lake. 66 Silver Bay, but 88 in Evelyn, Virginia, and Hibbing, and 89 Grand Rapids, but coming down to 79 International Falls. So that's a sign that temperatures will break a bit for most places tomorrow, but not everybody. And here, taking a look at the current Doppler satellite map, we see those storms running through the southern parts of Ashland and Iron counties. Hopefully within a few minutes, indeed, they exit and things calm down for our area, though there is still a 30% chance for more of this precip to pop up tonight, as at least two more low pressure systems work their way towards our area, bringing upwards of even a 70% chance for thunderstorms on Friday. So by Saturday morning, how much rain could we get? You know, unless you're right under a big towering cumulonimbus cloud, you may only run about 1/10 to 1/3 of an inch. But since it is dry, we'll put that to good use, especially if it comes up towards 1/3 of an inch. Tonight in Minnesota, low temps will be 48 to 50 by the lake, as warm as 60 farther inland, 30% storm chance overnight tonight. And that carries over into Wisconsin and the UP, where low temps will go 50 by the lake to 62 inland. Then the storm chance bumps up to 70% for Wisconsin, Michigan here on Friday, but it drops temperatures only into the 60s closer to the lake. But from Watersmeet towards Hayward, still 88 degrees. Minnesota numbers 50 to 65 by the lake. Big cool down there, but still 75 to 82 farther inland. 70% storm chance. Breaks up by Saturday as a big cell of high pressure takes over for 4 days. And then after the cool down on Friday, as I've been saying all day long here, we're going to equalize the temperatures and settle on a range of 77 to 84. And so I think the 50s by the lake go away, but also the 90s inland should go away at least for a while as well.
Thanks, Dave. With warm weather and summer upon us, many are looking for ways to get out on the water. But lately, boats for sale have been very hard to come by. CBS 3's Alex Libby talks with two very different Twin Ports boat dealers who are dealing with the same issue.
Boat sales have been on fire the last year.
Eric Thomas with Barker's Island Marina in Superior works with a brokerage to buy and sell all kinds of boats, from small pontoons to 50-foot yachts. He says he is fortunate to mainly work with used boats since the inventory for new ones is so low.
It's nice to see, though, in brokerage, people are seeing the market's good, so they're changing their boats out. So we still have quite a few things to sell.
Thomas says he is so fortunate to have the brokerage because others aren't as lucky.
Here at RJ Sport & Cycle, this showroom, which is normally full of boats, is now completely empty.
Only 4 boats sit in the more than 4,000 square foot showroom, 3 of which are already sold. Tony Bianchi is a salesperson at RJ's, and he says the shortage started a while ago.
I would say it actually started about this same time last year.
He says since people couldn't travel during the pandemic, they needed to find vacation ideas in their backyard. And in the land of 10,000 lakes, boats became a must-have.
The factories are only able to build so many boats, and they are tailored to build enough boats for the normal demand. And with the increase in the numbers of new boat owners, they can't keep up at the moment.
Bianchi also blames this winter's extreme cold snap in Texas, where many of the boats are built. He says this shortage isn't only in the Northland. He's had people traveling thousands of miles just to buy a boat.
I sold a boat to a lady in Bozeman, Montana. We've had people coming from Chicago. We've had people coming from Iowa, Michigan. People are traveling. They're calling from all over just to find the needle in the haystack.
According to RJ Sport and Cycle, they have not raised their prices. They say if you are looking for a new boat, they're backed up with orders through this fall. Coming up in sports, a beautiful day for section track and field. Highlights from Cloquet are next.
Order your 2022 Polaris snowmobile now from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
CBS3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
Thursdays are a favorite day at Fond du Lac Casino because they're loaded with kiosk cash. Every Thursday, qualified Players Club members can swipe their card at the kiosk, play the game, and may win up to $500 in cash. You can even participate up to 3 times each date. For more details, stop by the Players Club or log on to FondDuluthCasino.com. Come in for the excitement of Thursday kiosk cash and make Thursday your best day of the week while you
have a great time out at Fond du Lac.
The U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum is for everyone. Visit the Great Wall of Inductees, shoot some pucks, and hit the gift shop. Celebrating the history of American hockey through exhibits and memorabilia. The U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum, a must-stop for hockey fans everywhere.
Little child, we're in a
We can help you at Ketamine North Infusion Center.
In public safety, we see things that sometimes you can't unsee. After these infusions, everything just kind of turned around and I was able to start enjoying things again.
To learn more, give us a call or visit us online.
Are you ready to freshen up your summer wardrobe but shopping stresses you out? Leave your worries on the rack as one of Angie's Closet stylists dress you. Set up your session today for your opportunity to shop a diverse variety of clothing and accessories, all curated to fit your style. Want to give your home a new summer look? Angie has you covered with her new home goods collection. Visit Angie's Closet today, located on Tower Avenue. The View at Bluestone is leasing 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for August 1st, with beautiful apartments featuring custom wood cabinets, oversized windows and balconies, and an array of luxury amenities.
We would love to have you here with us. Schedule a hard hat tour today at viewatbluestone.com.
If it's important to our nation,
the country is facing yet another unprecedented crisis.
It's on Face the Nation, making politics make sense. The why behind the biggest stories. Face the Nation on CBS.
By hook or by crook, after 30 years or so, I've become the longest-serving broadcast meteorologist here in this market. I've been an on and off part of it since 1986. We have a higher quotient of people who grew up in this area, live the weather all their lives, know what's supposed to happen for each specific time of the year around here. CBS3 Live and Local, we try to live up to that, and I'm hoping people will like what they see and tell all their friends, of course.
Watch Dave Anderson weeknights at 5, 6, and now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
The fun stopped for the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday evening. They had won their 5 games in a row, had that streak snapped at the hands of Cincinnati. Game 3 with the Reds earlier today. We'll start in the bottom of the second, and we're going to start with a Reds highlight, but only because of how it ends. Joey Votto takes this pitch down the first base line, his 6th home run of the season. This one measures 400 feet to tie it up, but the real impressive part of this was this young fan. Watch as he makes the diving catch over the bleachers to reel it in. Sign him up, guys. Add him to the roster. Skies opened up and rain started falling. The game was delayed for a short time after the 4 innings were in the books. Rain eventually cleared top of the 6th. Game now tied at 2 outs and 2 on. Brewers' Jace Peterson with a single to short. That'll play to pair. Daniel Vogelbach added a 2-run shot to make it 6-2. And the Brewers take it 7-2 for the series win. They have won 14 out of their last 18. And after back-to-back letdown losses, the Twins are back for Game 3 against the New York Yankees at Target Field before the tough stretch of games continues with the Houston Astros coming to town tomorrow. First pitch is set for 7:10 p.m. And state tennis continues today. Still alive are Ty Kruger and Dane Patton from Duluth East. They advanced to the Class AA semifinals with a pair of wins this morning. They will play tomorrow at 8 a.m. for a trip to the championship. And the road unfortunately ends for Hermantown's Zam Plant and Aaron Evgen in the second round. Well, section tournament action continues for spring sports. Beautiful morning in Cloquet for Section 7A track and field. Tons of fans on deck in attendance to support. The first track event of the day was the girls' 4x800 meter run. Tight race on the final lap between Mesabi East and Two Harbors, but Autumn Smith for Two Harbors turns her wheels on, crossing that finish line in first place. They finished with a time of 10 minutes, 10 seconds, and 0.38. For the men's 100-meter dash, Two Harbors' Matson Granmo took first. In first place on the girls' side of the 100-meter dash, it was Emily Rango from Esco. And the section title game for softball came down to this. Greenway and Proctor, the Raiders, improved to 25-0 on the season with a 7-4 win over the Rails. We'll have full highlights and post-game reaction from players and coaches tonight in the CBS3 News at 10. Well, the Green Bay Packers are expecting Lambeau Field to be at full capacity this season. Fully vaccinated fans will need to wear masks, but unvaccinated fans will be asked to wear one. Proof of vaccination is not required. Fans are also invited to training camp at the end of July at the annual shareholders meeting on July 26th at Lambeau Field. No word yet on if they'll continue their bike riding tradition at training camp this year. In other Packers news, Aaron Rodgers was not at minicamp for day 2 today, where Jordan Love took most of the reps at quarterback. So some good and some that Aaron Rodgers saga continues. But to see Lambeau Field making that decision to allow fans back, I think we're going to see fans at US Bank Stadium. Hopefully here in the Northland, we are going to see a full jam-packed Amsoil Arena come fall.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
Wouldn't that be? Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly. Well, it may have been too foggy in the Northland, but some people in the Northern Hemisphere got to see one of nature's greatest shows early this morning, a partial Ring of Fire solar eclipse. This type of eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun. In a Ring of Fire, the moon's distance from the Earth keeps it from blocking out the sun's light entirely, so when it passes in front of it, the star's rays are brightly visible around the moon's edges. Absolutely beautiful. Kind of foggy out there again tonight, huh, Dave?
Yeah, and stormy for some towns. Right now, we're still facing some severe thunderstorms for southern parts of Ashland and Iron counties in Wisconsin. And a 30% chance tonight the rest of the town could get a little thunder here and there as well. It turns into a 70% chance on Friday, but temperatures also step down. A lot of places will drop into the 60s, if only for a day. By Saturday, we go back towards 80 and hover around that then for much of the rest of the week ahead.
Hey, happy Friday Eve, by the way. We'll see you at 10.